Heather Martin speak with us today. She's with the Central Oregon Veterans Ranch, and if you haven't been out there, it's a really wonderful, wonderful place. And so I'll give you Heather, and she's going to tell us what's going on out there.
Great. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. I want to be really human for a second. You mentioned that nobody knew, but I've been driving around for 40 minutes. I am not a local. So I drove to every back road that Waze directed me to, and it was not here, I assure you. So the panic was real. Appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to what we do. I actually was running a little bit behind already today because we had a veteran out at the ranch who really just acknowledged that they were struggling. Thanksgiving is coming up. I think people who have families, people who are solidified in their community, feel really great about the holidays, right? It's time for us to get together. It's time for us to meet with our families. I would tell you, for a lot of veterans, that energy is not the same, right? They come to an area like Central Oregon because they want to isolate. Isolation is the most deadly thing for veterans. Right? You are more likely to die from being isolated than you are from doing drugs or being an alcoholic. The statistics are real. If you come out to an area like ours and you isolate, specifically within certain time regions, like a year after separation or after you turn 55, the likelihood of disease, death by suicide goes up anywhere between 7-fold and 11-fold. The Veterans Ranch is pretty unique in what it does, in so much that we aren't very regimented, right? We are a really condensed area of veterans. We have per capita more veterans than anywhere else in the state, and in many instances, many more veterans than anywhere else in the country. It's a positive and a negative, right? It's a positive in so much that people believe that they found a community that they want to return to. But then we have a glut of veterans who are looking for services, who are looking to get back to a place that they can step back a little. And stepping back is great until it isn't. And so the Veterans Ranch really works to be that third space. Historically, some of the language around the ranch is, if you're struggling, come out. If you've got PTSD, come out. And that's great. We want all of those folks. But the reality is the ranch is a place for every veteran. So no matter where you are, or they are in their healing journey, struggling, not struggling, we just want to be that place for veterans to come and find a comfortable space to exist. That's really the challenge that we see with most veterans, is that they come back and they can't really ingratiate themselves back into society. They don't know how to function in the same way. And when they're talking to people who have not had the same experiences, they really start to feel different. That's the term we hear very often from vets. I didn't feel the same when I came home. I'm talking to somebody who doesn't understand my experience. And we want to be that place where if you're coming out, somebody understands your experience. We're generally open only to veterans. Historically, it's been Monday through Saturday. During the off seasons right now, we actually just slim our hours down. If there's no harvest and there's nothing growing, we don't necessarily want to staff and have folks out there. But right now, we're doing a little bit of a trim down for the winter season and going back out to the veteran community asking what they need. When I mentioned the glut of vets that we have in this region, we also have a glut of veteran organizations. So we have 15 nonprofit veterans organizations in this region, which is great, but there's some redundancy and there is some competition for resources. We don't want to compete for resources. We don't want to take anything away from anybody. We don't want to be redundant in any way, shape, or form. So we want to keep coming out to discussions like this, to discussions within the veteran community, and ask what veterans need and want in this area. How can we provide the services that you want, instead of responding with what we think they want? But what we do hear over and over is they just want a space to be comfortable. Right? It doesn't mean that they have to show up because there's a meeting that they have to speak to. They could show up and sit on the porch. They can show up and help with harvest. For us, we're a 19-acre working ranch. We grow, we have a year-round greenhouse that we grow lettuce, basil, things of that nature that we sell to high-end markets. We also have a large, we'd call it greenhouse, it's technically a hoop house. And for the first time ever, everything that we grew this year got right back directly into the hands of veterans. So we put about 1,100 pounds of produce directly into the hands of veterans that we felt were food challenged or nutritionally challenged. So everything went out to the Veterans Village or the Band of Brothers. The focus really for us is closing the loop. We talk about being that space, and that's great. We're not just a space for the veterans, we're a space for the veterans organizations. So the goal for the Veterans Ranch is to really be that hub for all things veteran. If there's somebody out there that needs services, if there's a veteran out there that just needs a space, a place to exist, we want to be that place. I think for a lot of people who haven't served, explaining that people just need some place to be sometimes doesn't really resonate. But I would tell you, especially as we go into this holiday season, this is where people who tend to isolate feel even more isolated. This is where they really kind of withdraw, and we joke about it on site. They turtle, right? They tuck back into the shell, and they just want to be quiet. Everything about what we're doing is making sure that we keep those folks engaged, that we keep the other organizations in the region that engage those people coming out and utilizing our services. We've been in existence for 10 years. There have been a couple iterations. There have been some changes as we've progressed. I really think we've fallen into a great place after asking, repeatedly what veterans in the region needed. Like I said, they just need a place to come. I would say that the best result that I see is when somebody is really struggling in the area of, I don't know where to be on a Tuesday. I've gotten out of the military. I'm not necessarily going back to work. It looks different to everybody, but they just don't know where to go. And it's that energy, that I don't know where to go energy, that I don't know what to do when I've consistently been told to wake up at 6 a.m. and go do this in my job, and everything about what they've done in their history has been very regimented, and then you yank the regiment away. And then they go back to just what we call regular society and really struggle with integrating. We try to be that soft space for integration. And it's not just for those who struggle, it's really for those who are doing well. We need veterans out there that want to give back to the veteran community. This year, we've done some interesting things. In addition to getting all the food back into the hands of veterans, we started looking at the whole body approach. So there was a lot of conversation or direction to those struggling with PTSD. And that's great, we can respond. But there are a lot of people who aren't at the same place. So we started offering more whole body approach, so yoga classes, kettlebell classes, I say this wrong every time, so fly tying classes. So a lot of those really hands-on things, but that's actually where we see the real healing. We have peer support, which is great, which is the sit across from each other and talk about what you're struggling with. The real healing or the real connection that we see is when people are side by side. Tons of studies, specifically around men, and I would tell you about 90% of the people that come out to the ranch are men. We really tie back the fact that most healing occurs side to side when people are doing something. So it's that come out and help us harvest, come out and help us continue to generate the revenue that we need to keep this space open for veterans. And we do. We make sure that we're always connected. As I mentioned, a little bit late because I had a veteran show up and just say, hey, I'm just not doing great. I'm certainly not gonna go, well, got a Kiwanis meeting, thanks so much. But taking my time to let them know, this is a place for you. It doesn't matter where you are. You're struggling today, tomorrow you might be doing great. You hang out for a couple minutes, there's likely another guy who's gonna come down the road who's experienced something similar. So it's pretty unique. We were the first ones in the country doing anything like this. There are 3 or 4 others now that we see more southern United States aligned. We've one in Texas, trying similar concepts, but statistically, it shows really well. And we also want to acknowledge that when people are leaving the military, the common theme is to throw medication at them, to just tell them, here, go take this pill, you're gonna be great, go home, you're gonna be great. That's not the reality. The statistics don't support that. We actually want to support the stuff outside of that. Medication's great, aligning with programs is great, but giving people purpose. And that's our key word, giving people purpose to come out and find something, what's their next thing. So when we talk about people struggling, they want purpose so they're not struggling. And when we talk about people who aren't struggling, they want purpose in showing those people who are struggling how to continue on in their experience. I would tell you that for me, when I go out to things like this, and so appreciate you guys, we hear thank them for their service and thank you so much. The thank you is in showing up. So for us, the dollars are great, but it's the acknowledgement that we exist. It's the coming out when we talk about, hey, we just need help, clearing a field so that we can keep the organization going for veterans. It's the conversations like this that allow us to get the message out to the community to say, hey, these are really important things. We're not just thanking people for their service anymore. We're showing them that we're thankful. We're showing them they have a space to come back to. And it's continuing. We still have young guys, young women and men coming back who really don't feel that they have that ingratiated space. So we are unique in that and want to continue to be able to provide that. But I think in this room, most of you would be aware, it is a unique financial time. It is challenging. We don't receive any federal funding, but we do receive about 60% of our annual revenue through grants. The people who were receiving federal funding are now going for the same grants that I'm going for, and I'll give you an example. We received a grant last year. There were 58 of us who applied for it. This year I applied for the same grant. There were 915 of us. We're not even playing the same sport. And I don't want to buy in and tell you we're the be-all, end-all. I believe in what we're doing. Even more so, I believe in providing space for our veterans. It's a personal connection for me. My son is active duty and deployed. I'm married to a 100% disabled veteran who served for 23 years. I would tell you both of them have unique perspectives, but they're both looking for the same type of connection. And they don't find that connection unless they find other people who served. And that's that challenge. We have other organizations, sure, we've got the VFW and other organizations similar to that. It's a little bit different. Those things are revolved around kind of social interaction, drinking, things of that nature. We are 100% alcohol-free, drug-free, just that healthy space for people to come out. I joined the ranch about a year ago. One of the things that I found interesting when I joined was that I didn't know much about it, right? I had been here for 3 years. I'd been in the region. I didn't know about the ranch. I didn't know what they did. And I made the assumptions. So for us right now, I would tell you the challenge is in getting the messaging out. It's getting out the mission, talking about what we're doing, getting people to come out. Right? I think there's the discussion about what I'm telling you. There's a whole other version of this when people come out, tour the ranch, and get to see what it is we're actually doing, how we're engaging with veterans. My ranch manager is a perfect example of how it works. He was shot 7 times in Iraq. Friendly fire. They had a translator who was on base who opened fire on our troops, and he was shot multiple times. Woke up 4 months later, and then came home. And what he said was, I came home, and there I was. And I was home, and I didn't know what to do with myself, so I started drinking. I spent all the money. I did all the things to try to fill the hole, and it certainly didn't fill it. And he said I was about 30 seconds from ending it. The other fun fact about our veterans is they're really good at the ending it part, right? These are people who know how to use weapons, who know how to do those things. So when they make attempts, they're effective. We want to get ahead of that. And he said, I came out one day and I asked to help harvest lettuce. And that's how it started. And then it was lettuce, and then he was coming out to help with another project, and then we had a part-time position, and there was a progression for him. But if there was ever a good example of what it is we do really saves lives, I don't think it's hyperbole. I don't think it's hyperbole to say providing that space saves lives. I see it every day. Just have to do better about getting that messaging out, getting the people in this community to take a look at what it is we do and engage with us. like I said, it's not always about the money. It's about showing up. It's about coming out to the meals. It's about showing the vets in the region that you do really thank them for their service by your presence. So that was a long version of telling you guys, I really believe in what it is we do out there. I think we're saving lives. I think we'll save more in our change as we change our messaging and invite veterans to the region. But it is really going to require the engagement of folks like you, clubs like the Kiwanis and other regional groups that will bring the awareness to us and come out and see what it is we're doing. So that's my spiel, but I'd like to open it up to questions. If anybody has any questions, please.
Are you a residential facility?
We are not. So when I talk about some separate, different iterations of what the ranch has been, initially 10 years ago when they started with this peer support concept, and then they were going to switch to end-of-life care. And it's lovely conceptually. My background's actually medicine. I think anybody in medicine could have taken a 30-second pass at it and said, probably not the ideal environment just from a Joint Commission perspective. So they kind of went down that road for a while and then saw it wasn't going to work out. Now we're really just trying to open it up if we get people that are looking for more residential or more long-term arrangements. We're working with outside organizations to build relationships so that we're providing that service, just not on our property at the moment.
Where is the ranch located?
We're on Southwest 61st. We're equidistant between Bend and Redmond. We're a Bend address. Our neighbor's Redmond. So we're right before the curve. Beautiful property. That's the other thing I think I can't really relay in a conversation like this is it's gorgeous. It's 19 acres that open up to this view of the mountains. And when you get somebody who's just having a really bad day, somebody who has just had all they can take of the world and they get to come out there and sit with us or sit with the horses or, help us harvest and see this beautiful view, it's a game changer. And I would invite any and all of you to come out at any point, either myself or my development directors out there every day of the week. We are a really small organization, and a ranch our size, separate from the fact that we run a nonprofit, should have about 12 employees. Add a nonprofit into that, we should be running about 16. There are 4 of us. So when there are days like today, when I'm struggling to get to this and I have the choice between this and having a conversation with the vet, sometimes you have to make those hard choices. The goal would be to continue to grow this and get other organizations involved in a way that we can really bring those numbers together in a more supportive way for veterans.
Do you still have your plant sale in the spring?
We do. So I don't know that we're going to do it this year. Fun fact, I don't know that anybody ever did the math, that it doesn't really work. The math doesn't work. The plant sale is a wonderful opportunity for people to come experience the ranch, come check out what we're doing. They brought me on. My background is really business and operational heavy. I went back over the last 4 years, and what I found is if you math in all of the overtime and all of the things that go into putting on a plant sale like that, we're about $4,000 in the hole each time. And again, great opportunity to highlight what it is we do. I just think if we're actually in the business of doing business, we got to do better. So this year we might do something slightly different. We will still keep it open for some type of plant sale. It just probably won't look the same as it has historically.
I had seen, I think it was on Facebook, I saw it was a call out, like an emergency, we need to build a fence. Wasn't that Central Oregon?
Not a fence. So we had a tent. I don't know the correct term. So
This was a couple months ago.
I don't know. Oh yes, no, that was us. Sorry, different fence. So we have projects going on, like I said, we're a whole ranch,
Right.
and a whole nonprofit. We had to finish. We got a grant from NRCS 4 years ago to finish a fence, the cattle fencing that went all the way around our property. we just weren't staffed appropriately. We needed bodies to come in and finish. We were able to finish. We were able to close out our grant, which was amazing. But again, it's call outs to stuff like that. Excuse me, forgive me, we just had another major thing on the property. We have a giant tent, which would be historically where you'd stay in the field. The recent windstorms blew it all apart. And all of our storage was in there. So we had done another call out for building support there.
So maybe it was a repost off your website, but so you would have that on your website when you had a need for volunteers to come out and help?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.